Big Sills. You know, I love our guys who post our Twitter clips. And I think that's all they think that we do here. And that we don't talk about other people other than Hurts and the Eagles. I love, because you can go online. I don't hear you bashing Josh Allen. Oh, we'll get to that here in a minute. Because Big Sills is an equal offender. When you make big money, you get killed. And when you make big money and you win, you get over the top accolades. Okay? I am an equal offender. I always will be. Always. By the way, Mike Missinelli today, Angelo Cataldi tomorrow, and we're working on another special guest on Friday. It's like the head of the media Italian family. This is kind of like a Paisan week that we're doing here. So Mike Missinelli, 4:30 Eastern today, Angelo Cataldi tomorrow, and another Paisan will be joining us potentially on Friday as well. Josh Allen was terrible last night. No getting around it. Actually, all the top big money quarterbacks sucked out loud in the first week. Burrow, Hurts, Allen. Mahomes wasn't too bad, but they all sucked. Okay, they all sucked. Equal offender. Got to be better. My problem with last night with Josh Allen, when you got a team that loses Aaron Rodgers like that, and you see the team in the sideline deflated, that Bills team has got to go over there and treat that team like roadkill. You got to put them to sleep. You can't let a team just sit around and limp around and make it a fourth quarter game because you think you're going to let your foot off the gas pedal instead of going for the throat. I now know what's wrong with the Bills. They don't put you away. Dude, if you've got an opponent like that and he's wobbling, kill him. Annihilate him. End it. Don't let him limp along and get life. And keep them back in it and get momentum going on you again. That's a shitty job of coaching. Hey, and by the way, Josh Allen, dude, you got to play better, man. You got to have more of a sense of urgency. Put that team to sleep. Now, look, I know everyone was like, oh, I don't see you saying anything about it. Hey, dude, here's Josh Allen the last 3 years. 45 touchdowns, 42 touchdowns, 42 touchdowns. In the last 3 straight years and 8 starting playoffs. This kid's got to be smarter. He's not bad. He's got to be smarter. His problem is game management. It's not ability. You're talking about 45, 42, and 42 total touchdowns in the last 3 straight years. He's got to be smarter. He's too reckless. Especially when you got a team that's on a respirator. Put him to sleep. Put him to sleep. On his question, would you still take Allen over Hurts? Yes, he's a better talent. Sorry. Yes. Wait a minute. So if you don't gauge Jalen off of one shitty performance, you're going to gauge Josh Allen off of one shitty performance. Okay? My problem with Jalen was not being able to read defenses. He's reckless. Cap, you are a hater. It's okay. Sway, whatever, guy. Thanks for the money. I'll put it in the whatever jar. Whatever. All those quarterbacks got out to a brutal start in their first week. Jalen got the win. Great. 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 I said that yesterday when we started the program. There's no excuse. What excuses, Anthony? The guy sucked last night. What excuses did I make? He sucked. Where did you hear an excuse? Where did you hear the excuse? He sucked. Okay? By the way, for the record, I mean, oh, you're like, well, Jalen, dude, with all that talent on your offense, you better be better. You have to be better than Josh Allen. You should be better. Hurts sucked. Burrow sucked. I wasn't that overly impressed with Lamar Jackson's performance. Shit, there were spots in the Deshaun Watson game I was cool with. You know who really had the weekend? There were only two quarterbacks that I thought had great weekends, Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa. I thought the rest of them all were below average or average. Those were the only two that I came away with in week one and went, yeah. Yes. Turner, Josh Allen, since the start of 2021 season, 34 games, 32 picks, other than one special season in a famous playoff. Well, Turner, 45 touchdowns, 42 touchdowns, 42 overall touchdowns in 3 straight years, too. And they win games. And he was 13-3. I don't know. I'll throw one back right at you. We'll see. By the way, no, senor, those aren't excuses. Those are facts. Let's get into the Eagles now. How do you feel about going into Thursday with these names as your backers? Nicholas Morrow, Christian Ellis, Zach Cunningham. How do you feel about those three going against the Vikings and their offense? Albeit can be one-dimensional, but you can't cover. You can't cover. I'm taking the 7 in the Vikings Thursday. I think the Eagles win the game. I'm taking the 7 in the Vikings. Because there's not a chance in hell you're covering those guys. Blankenship's banged up. You will not cover. Here's the Vikings. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, and TJ Hawkinson. Name me one guy that could cover one of those guys. Who? So why one DB, Slay, is covering Jefferson? Who's covering the rest of these guys? And by the way, these guys are an upgrade to what you faced this past weekend. Slay's covering all of them? You don't have enough bodies. Were you not watching Sunday's game? It was horrible. I said it one more time. The Philadelphia Eagles will finish in the bottom half of the league in pass defense. Josh can't read a defense. Thanks for the money. Who's Job? Is that one of the books in the Bible? Is that like one of the books in the Bible? Who's Job? Huh? Now, JB does bring a point up. Sills, hey, I forgot this. Way to go, man. Way to go. I forgot this. Is this a primetime game on Thursday? Is this a game past 4:30 Eastern? Okay, hang on. Hey. Okay, hey, wait a minute. Hey, I may have to revamp this. Okay, I may have to revamp this. Hang on here. Okay? I may have to. You know, it's funny. Someone just goes, who's blocking Carter? I thought you guys told me last week the Patriots had the shittiest O-line in the league. Let me guess. Now it's the Vikings, right? It's prime time. I forgot about that. That's got to weigh 14 points the other way for the Vikings. Hey, that's got to be a pick six. It's Cousins in prime time. Hang on here. I may have to rethink this here because there is something to that, dude. You guys are right. Hey, I cannot dispel that. So you're right. You got me. Good one. Wait a minute, senor. I may have to rethink this. Sills, if it's a 1 o'clock game, maybe you can take the points and the Vikings. But it's a night game, and it's a primetime game, and it's Cousins. Correct. That's worth at least a pick six for the Eagles. That's a pick six. Man. I'll do that at the back end of the show. Hey, by the way, today it starts up again, man. We're looking forward to you guys. We're going to throw out a code word somewhere inside the 3 hours. You guys just see the code word. And all we need is your name and address, and you're going to get an opportunity at winning yourself some Hooters gift certificates and some merchandise. All you have to do is email dansileo@gmail.com to enter your chance to win a weekly prize here. We announced the winner on a football Monday. So this week you get the entire week. There's the email for you. Code word's going to be thrown out when you see it. All you have to do is email my friend Tone. He will put you in rotation, and we'll pick a winner come this Monday. And we look forward to you doing this, and we look forward to our friends at Hooters as we're celebrating the 40th anniversary, especially with our friends in the Northeast area and also at the King of Prussia. So we thank you guys so much. Very good. There's the winners for last week. Wayne Miller and Christopher Arters, thank you so much for guys participating in that. And we look forward to you potentially being a winner as well this coming Monday. Hey, look, you know what's great? Roland goes, so what happened to your favorite guy, Josh Allen? He sucked like Hurts. But this guy cost himself a game again. He's clearly more reckless. Jalen's not, even though the last two games Jalen has put the ball on the carpet in consecutive games, he's not reckless. Okay? He's not reckless like that. Okay? He's not. But Hurts has not been flawless in his last two games. So don't make it sound like he had. Well, he played really well. He had a scoop and score in the Super Bowl. And he gave the Patriots a chance to win the game. I thought numbers didn't matter to some of you. Okay? You put teams in position to win. No matter how well you played, statistically, if you put the opposing team in positions to win like Allen did last night, it's moot what you did. It's completely irrelevant. Correct, JM. That's right. JM is right. Hurts played bad, but won. Dude, there is a quality and an asset to that. No one's saying anything about it. Okay? Absolutely, Josh. DB goes, Josh Allen cost them the game last night. Yes. What's the debate? What's the debate? Josh Allen's going to win 10 times more games than lose games for you. But he can't lose divisional critical games that could determine home field. See, in the NFC, you can get away with that bullshit. In the AFC, you can't, because teams are going to be stacked on top of one another. It's too close. Okay? It's too close. By the way, I said this yesterday. When you're a $40 million, $50 million quarterback and you suck, I'm an equal offender. Equal offender. Equal offender. Sills, that's your guy. So? What do you think? I go lighter on people that I like in the league because I like them? What kind of shit is that? I don't know Josh Allen from a can of paint. Just because I like the kid's skill set, you think I'm not going to criticize him for the reckless play and being the reason they lost? You're out of your tree. You're out of your tree. Okay? Out of your tree. James, I cover the Eagles first and then the league. Okay? Burrow sucked. Hurts sucked. Allen sucked. I don't know, Mahomes wasn't overly impressed. Lamar Jackson, I don't know, not overly impressed. Purdy and Tua had fabulous games. Had fabulous games. Justin Herbert, yeah, he goes into suck bucket too. Absolutely. All the big money guys sucked. Yes. Purdy and Tua were special. Special. Minnesota Vikings. We talked enough about this. Now we move on. Now we move on. You got a game in 2 days. It's against the Minnesota Vikings. By the way, top 10 quarterback list. Top 10 teams. They're on the docket today as we move into week 2 of the NFL. So, let me hear out of the gate here how you think this game's going to play out against Minnesota. Give me a rough score and what you think this score will look like for the Vikings and the Eagles on Thursday. LJ, Sills loves them white quarterbacks. No, I love winning quarterbacks. I don't give a shit what color you are. What a race baiter. 31-27, Eagles. 31-21, 27-20, 28-21, 31-14, never happened. You don't have a defense that will hold anybody to 14 points. 27-24. So you guys are kind of thinking where I'm at. 27-17. Those 30-17 scores are idiotic after what you just saw. And you're taking on a more skilled offense. How dumb can you be with those scores? I like Tone's score a lot. Let's see that one more time. 31-27. I like that score. 33-27, Chris. That looks good. 24. Okay, so you guys, even though you're giving me a ton of shit, you're in there. You're in there. You're in there. Good for you. It's all right to give me a ton of shit as long as you guys know where you are with your team as it's still cooking on the defensive side. Drew, it's good. Calvin, you got great. I'm very happy about this. Very happy. I do give you the Kirk Cousins primetime factor. I think he doesn't play well when he's asked to. He doesn't take advantage of situations, and he's got one here. Okay? Jefferson, Addison. KJ Osborne's a great player, man. I love the kid. He's a University of Miami guy. I know him very well. He follows me on Twitter. We had a conversation last night. Their problem was they were one-dimensional, and they couldn't get it done defensively, and they couldn't run the ball. Why you got rid of Dalvin Cook makes no sense. And it reared its head. It totally reared its head in that game. I'll tell you something. Do we not agree now that the running backs are now making a statement? If you don't have a good one, you can't put teams away. And they're more vital than you think. Okay? They're more vital than you think. TJ Hawkinson, you don't have a guy on your team that can cover him. KJ Osborne, you don't have a guy on your team that can cover him. Jordan Addison, you don't have a guy on your team that can cover him. Justin Jefferson, Slay's going to have another great game on him to slow him down. Look, I think one of the things you come away with that you have an advantage going into this Viking game is that Davis and Carter played so well against the run. Personally, Fletcher Cox needs to be the rotation guy, in my opinion. I want him as the rotation guy, not as a starter. I want him to be Callie Green goes Slay Day. Okay, who's the other guys? Job is going to cover TJ Hawkinson? Or wait, let me get this right. What's the name of that shitty linebacker list you have now? Nicholas Morrow, Kristen Ellis, and Zach Cunningham. Those guys can't cover a floor with a rug. Dude, Hunter Henry killed you. Giesick killed you. These guys are better. These guys are better. Now, what you're going to see on defense is pretty much the same stuff that you saw this past week. The difference is, I don't think that you have the personnel in Minnesota. Now, if you take the game film and you go back and watch the 22 on what the Bucs did, the Bucs were able to get open with their wideouts, Chris Godwin. And Jalen's going to have to do some reading of defenses here. He's going to have to read some defenses here. Okay? Because they got open. And Mayfield did a good job finding the open receiver. He was moving safeties around. Wasn't a horrible game by Baker Mayfield. Okay? Wasn't a horrible. Blankenship is banged up. I am attacking the linebackers and safeties on this team. The number one thing that I told you New England would do, did, and that's exactly what Minnesota's going to do. They're going to stay away from the numbers. Don't you get it? The Vikings are going to stay away from the numbers, and they're going to be in the middle of the hash marks. They're going to attack the Eagles. The Eagles are weak on the hash marks. The Eagles are not weak on the numbers. Okay? Jordan Hicks is pretty good on defense. Daniel Hunter's good. Harrison Smith is good in the safety. 3 out of the 8 guys that start on defense, I mean, you got 3 dudes that are good. The rest of them, I don't know. Okay? I don't know. But schematically, you're going to see Brian Flores was in New England for 17 years. And he's going to take the game film of the Super Bowl and what happened in New England, and they're going to run the same shit at you. Until Jalen can show that he can read defenses and go down in progressions, that's what they're going to start doing to him. And what they're going to do is they got to set the edge like now. I don't think Minnesota has the edge setters that New England does. New England's defense is going to finish in the top 10. That's a top 10 unit. Make no mistake about it. It's a top 10 unit. Okay? But Flores was there 17 years. And he knows how to stop people. Now, again, they lay an egg against the Bucs. Shockingly, and they did this at home. Okay? I don't really think they have the personnel to sit there and stop. Now, again, can play calling be an issue? Well, you think they're going to get Goddard established first right out of the gate? See, I hate when I hear that. How do you know? That's predetermining your throws on a Tuesday. Well, let's get Goddard established. That's the problem with the offense. It's becoming predictable. I want to see what they line up in first, not on a Tuesday. Well, let's get Dallas Goedert going. Why would you? And to get Gainwell is the great. I had a conversation with Mike Martz last night. You know what he said? Getting Gainwell established was like the dumbest thing he had seen in a long time. He's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you go after the weakness of the Patriots defense? And you know what the weakness of the Patriots defense was? Their corners and their backers. Their corners and their backers. So that's a Brian Johnson and putting a game plan together. Now, I'll tell you something here, to go to John McMullen here. Maybe Steichen can break down a film a little better than these two guys and see what the total weakness is on the opposing team and knew what to attack. How many times last year did we know exactly where to go with the football with Jalen in that offense? They knew exactly where to go. I thought it was chaotic against New England. Now, New England is going to give you and present you difficult transitions in defense every sequence. They're so complex defensively. Most of the NFL teams were not prepared, and some of them need to throw the game tape in the garbage, Death Row says. I don't think that at all, Death Row. I think you learn from your mistakes and you try to adjust on them. How I take away on week one tells you exactly what you didn't work on enough in the offseason. And that it may, and get this, and something else, Death Row, about week one. What you did versus the Patriots may not play one factor against Minnesota Thursday night. You can't be predictable. Don't you get it? Let's get Goddard established. Let's get AJ. Dude, I don't know yet. Let's find the weakness of the Minnesota. That's what the Patriots did and why they were able to come back down 16 on you. You think they were sitting around telling Mac Jones, hey, let's get Hunter Henry going. They weren't doing any of that. They were trying to find out what you were doing. They spread you out right away. And then they started seeing the weaknesses of the defense, and they had in-game adjustments. This is where your new coordinators are having problems, folks. In-game adjustments. They didn't adjust at all in-game. And every time the Patriots were playing chess and your guys were playing checkers. That's how they moved those guys around, and you're looking at yourselves going like this. They just went like this. They go, and see, look at this. Rashad goes, it's one game. Dude, it's 6 months of preparation. This came down to in-game adjustments, predetermining throws, predetermining defenses. The Eagles are about as predictable as you can get in that Patriots game. And that's why the Pats came back on you. Simple. One read. Passing game, one read. Try to run the ball. Try to get Jalen on those counters. They stopped the counters. They covered the one read, and they got back in the game on you and had the ball in their hand to win the game at the end. That's in-game adjustments. That's exactly what happened in the game. See, this is not an opinion. That's what happened. Okay? Breed says, I would love to see a little more under center with Swift running behind that old line, set up some play action. Love it, Breed. Yes. I think Minnesota, here's what I would do, Breed. If I'm going to attack Minnesota, I want to see if they can stop the run right away. Let's see if they could stop the run. Got the best O-line in football, and those guys are going to be hungry dogs on Thursday. You don't think Jason Kelce, and hey, by the way, no disrespect to Jason Kelce. He looked old in that game against New England. He looked old. I thought they won the battle up front, New England. I thought they totally won the battle up front. I thought Jason Kelce looked old. But hey, it's week one. You give a veteran guy like that enough autonomy, enough runway because he's too good. He's too good. So you let that runway run out. Okay? You let that go because he's too good. Mulata was killed. That white kid from Georgia Tech ran circles around him. That was the worst game I've seen Jordan Mulata play against an edge rusher since I've been covering the Eagles. He was terrible in that game. Like, here, watch this. Here's your grades for your O-line. Jordan Mulata, D. Landon Dickerson, C-. Jason Kelce, C-. Cam Jurgens, D-. Lane Johnson, B-. Not a very good grade for guys who traditionally grade out A's to B+. Okay? Those guys usually grade out. They're like 90% grade out guys, not 62, 63. Lane didn't get an F. He missed an assignment that got Hurts hit. I would not give Lane's game an F. He was more B- kind of stuff. He still did well. But it wasn't a Lane Johnson ass-kicking game. Okay? It wasn't. Dude, you're going to be here. I'll tell you this. You see you guys going one game? I don't think this is a one game. Hold on for a second here. So let me ask you this. You think this is a one-game problem? Do you actually think this is a one-game problem on what you saw? You think this is a one-game problem? This is an 8-game problem. Tone and I told you. Probably around week 8, your defense will start coming around. What's encouraging is you're not getting killed on the ground and killed in the air. You're just getting killed in the air. Okay? You're just getting killed in the air. Hey, by the way, there is no question. There's a ton of game tape now on Jalen Hurts. Let's see if Jalen got better. So far, test 1, F. D. That's not fair. F was last night. You want to know what an F is? The guy in Cincinnati and the guy in Buffalo have Fs. Those are Fs. Okay? Absolutely. So, this is not a one-game problem. Yeah, Hurts, D. Great. This is not a one-game problem. This is not a one-game problem. Turner goes, Sills, I appreciate you being real today. Hey, Turner, I've always told you I'm an equal offender. Okay? That was dress rehearsal for the entire offense. So you thought you'd go out there and play 60 minutes of shitty football. Take that back. 50 minutes of shitty football as a dress rehearsal. And you think that's what professionals do. It's shitty football for 50 minutes. Who cares? Is that correct? That's not what you're paid to do. You're on tape now. Coordinators around this league get paid enormous money for a reason. This is not a one-game thing. Because you have this is a personnel issue. Let's go here with this. Tone said something a couple months ago, and I loved it. And I did. Eagles like to play premium positions. Isn't it funny? Potentially, the positions that could cost you a chance to get to the Super Bowl are the positions that you neglected in the offseason. Linebacker, running back, and safety. You're missing Gardner Johnson. You're going to miss him. And TJ Edwards, you're going to miss him. Hey, let me ask you that question now that paper mache Nakobe Dean is on IR for 4 weeks. Jesus criminy. You're kidding me. Nakobe Dean is on IR for 4 weeks already? That guy has no chance in this league to get through a season because he's too small. There, I said it. And I'll say this to you too. Has nothing to do with ability. It's everything to do with his availability. And this is why he slid in the draft. And draft experts were right. He's made of balsa wood. He can't stay healthy. Shit, he couldn't stay healthy in walkthroughs. Okay? I mean, the one thing that one person said, I forget who said it in our view chart or chat here. I want to know why the Eagles are so comfortable and confident that he's the guy. I'm less confident now and less confident that he'll ever play the Mike linebacker. So you think he's going to miss 4 weeks, come back and be a star again? Or wait, he's never been a star in the NFL. I mean, Doza, it's not really about being better. It's about being available. Availability, folks, is part of the evaluation of every NFL guy. That's why some players have longer careers than other guys. You know why? You can have all the talent in the world, but you're not available. What's the point? You start talking to me about potential again. He's not the answer. He'll never be the answer. Now, you want to start talking to me about Sam and Will? I'd love to see that. I've said it to you before. The mistake they made, they should have put him at Will linebacker, brought Edwards back, and went from there. They would have been. Can you imagine if you had Edwards in? It would have been a lot better, and it would have looked a lot better on Sunday if you had a guy that was an experienced Mike linebacker. DC goes, so what's your suggestion? Should the Eagles get rid of him? I just said what it is. Play him at the Will or Sam. He's not a Mike. He's not. He can't stay healthy. And so all that preparation that you put into, now you have to go in the street and try to find a guy to settle your defense down in the passing game. Ain't working. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be around what Tone said. I like that score. 31-27. 31-27 Eagles? Yeah, that's about right. Look, you're the better roster. Your defense, though, is going to be exploited. They're confident because of that engineering degree. Like I told you before, Rolla, I know guys who couldn't read or write and put their name on a check. You put them in a football game, they know every single person's assignment, what their responsibilities are, what their techniques are. But you put them out in a classroom, they couldn't read or write. What's that guy? What's that degree have anything to do with football? Nothing. Has nothing to do with it. Okay? Does all this shit talking and then says the Eagles. Why would I say that the Vikings will win the game when they just lost to the Bucs? By the way, if you're taking the 7, take the Vikings. I would take the Vikings in the 7. That's the bet. It's Vikings in the 7. Okay. Yeah, the Eagles are going to win outright, but I'll take the Vikings in the 7. Sure. You want to put me on that? I'll do that. Sills, is there a good MLB available? Where's Nolan Smith too? Is he still banged up too? Damn, these Georgia linebackers. Will we ever see any of them? Okay. Look, I think, the bet, if you're going to be betting, the bet is Vikings. And the 7 with the injuries now. Is Blankenship playing? Stills plenty of football. You just ranting. What do Eagle hate? Where am I hating? You guys can't handle truth. Wait, you don't think these coaches are talking to these guys like this? Holy shit, I just realized it. You guys have never been spoken to like how a coach would talk to you. Now I get it. You're more used to people with pencils and pads talking to you on how they see the game instead of an ex-player knowing that every coach in that Eagle organization is knee-deep in someone's ass right now. Now I get it. You guys have never been talked to like Trump talks to people because coaches talk to people like Trump talks to people. And there lies why you can't handle some of the things that dude says. I know what he's doing because I've been spoken like that to my entire life. Turner, thank you. Okay? That's what the problem is here. Polly, see ya. Forte goes, I grew up with construction workers. And say you got, hey, so did I, Forte. And say you got a room wrong or you got a layout wrong. You think your foreman and your foreman's going to come over there and be kind to you that they have to rip up everything and waste resources to redo it again? When they explicitly told you how to do it, but you took shortcuts? Is that what it is? Sills, would you make a move right now? Cosmo says. What's the move? What's the move? How does Dean's size cause him to have a foot injury, he says? It's the foot. It's the shoulder. It's missing games. I don't hear Fred Warner out with a foot injury or shoulder injury, missing ball games. Your guy's never available. How's a foot injury? No, I'm talking about since his senior year at Georgia. He's been in the tub. I don't give a shit he's hurt. What's that got to do with anything? This is not personal. I need his ass. Man, you got some soft-ass folks in here. Honest to God, man. You're not spoke. Let me tell you what do you think Stoutland's saying to his O-line? You got killed. They're probably going over. I prefer the truth, not smoke up my rear, Dan. Thanks. Wayne, let me tell you what Jeff Stoutland's doing. Jordan Mailata, that sucks. That's terrible. Son, you better get your head on a swivel or I'm going to put my foot in your ass. That's terrible. We've been working on that second move. It's been a problem with you for 2 years. Slide your gosh staying feet. Landon, false step. What are you doing? You know the play. What are you doing? Kels, you don't kill Kelsey. You say this to him. Got to be better, Kels. Got to be better. Cam Jurgens, pathetic performance. Got to be better, son. That won't cut it. That won't cut it. Lane, we need more from you. That's how those guys were talked to. That's how they talk to them. You know what Tracy said? Jalen Carter, great beginning. Jordan, way to show up. Very good. Guys did a nice job in there. Rotation was good. Milton, you too. Need more from our edge rushers. Need more from our edge rushers. Josh Sweat, nice pass rush, but we need more. We need more consistency. Brandon Graham, we need more. Hassan kind of gets a pass with the hand. They got to get home because of that say. The pressure's on the D-line now because the secondary sucks. Okay? They have to get home. They have to get home. Okay? Sills, is LB a wash this season? Can they improve? Is it too late? Man, it's just not good talent there. This is where Howie failed. I told you that. He failed at not putting a veteran. Hey, look, I'll tell you this. Here's the ultimate fail. So you thought you'd have like a very limited first-year type. I know he had a year in Chicago, D.C. in there with new personnel in there and a new mic. And you thought that was going to make for a great marriage, that really a first-year D coordinator and a first-year Mike linebacker, not even an NFL Mike linebacker, college guy who's never played. And you thought you were just going to roll into a game with that? I never thought that was feasible. I just never thought that was feasible. Hey, get this. I think you guys, and Joshua now sees it too. I think you guys see it's not important if TJ you think is an elite linebacker. Hunter Henry and Giesick aren't elite tight ends. And they played elite against you. Do you understand? When you have a mismatch, you could turn an average ball player into an elite ball player because they've exposed your weakness. That's what happened in that Patriots game. And again, I'm not looking at the Patriots game as a one-day conversation here. I think this is going to be a year-long issue. I do. The Patriots are one of the worst teams in the AFC. Now, their place in the AFC East may have elevated because of what happened with Rodgers last night. Okay? I mean, look, the Jets are not going to be a 500 team this year. I don't care who they bring in. They could bring Joe Namath back. They're not going to win 9 games. They're not going to win 9 ball games. And before you start going crazy, well, the Bills lost. The Chiefs lost to the Colts last year. Relax. Dan, I may not agree with you all the time, but I appreciate how you are as a person. Much respect to you. And outside of Miami, you have the soul of Philly. Thank you so much, Ace. That's very kind of you. It is. We're very fortunate that we're able to really start connecting with guys like Anthony Gargano and Angelo Cadaldi and Mike Missinelli, who's on today at 4:30 Eastern. Angelo's on tomorrow. Had a great conversation with Anthony today. I didn't know Anthony from a can of paint. He didn't know me. And yeah, man, but we respect each other's work, so I thought that was pretty cool. So again, listen, I don't think the Vikings do not have the personnel. They do not have the personnel that the Patriots have defensively. But they have a coach that understands defensive schemes. And hey, I'll tell you one thing also that I think Brian Flores is going to do. They're going to try to confuse Jalen more. Let me ask you this. How many people think Belichick confused Jalen Hurts? Shit, I know he confused A.J. Brown. He walked off the field, got into a press conference, and said it himself. We weren't too far off last night, 24-20. Silverman. That's right. Oh, by the way, it's funny, isn't it? I know you guys are all like, I like Josh Allen, but Maniac, I did pick the Jets to win. I did pick the Jets to win. I do. Yes, me. He did. Okay. You're going to have to try to, and listen, isn't that the coolest thing for Jalen Hurts? Let me tell you where you guys are right on Jalen Hurts versus Josh Allen. Let me say this to you. You're right. Jalen Hurts may not have the ability of Josh Allen, but he'll never play like Josh Allen did last night. You know, he may have a mistake in the game. He may throw interceptions in a game, but it's not going to be reckless shit. It might be an overthrown pass. It might be some of that stuff just looked like almost uncoachable shit. And you were like, almost to the point where I'm going to say the bad word, Wentz-ish. And you're like, dude, that you've got, I mean, I could have sworn, I don't know about you, but didn't you see the head coach on the sidelines? I could have swore I saw him say, you can't do that. You can't do, I could have swore I saw him go like this. Hey, man, you can't do that. You can't. Ken Dorsey's going to be fired. There's no question they're going to get a new coordinator up there for that kid. It's 2 years of this bullshit now. I agree with you, Maniac. Yeah. Josh Allen, wait a minute. So Josh Allen, like I said to you, so this guy just calls this guy Carson Wentz, 45 touchdowns, 42 touchdowns, 42 touchdowns, and 3 straight consecutive years. Last year, they're 13-3. Relax. This guy put, how many touchdowns is that? I mean, this guy's put up almost 130 touchdowns in 3 years. I mean, that's a trend. In the AFC. So, one more time. I like that score that Tone has. And Jalen was confused. Flores has to do that. And where I was going with Jalen was, how great is it that they're trying to confuse him because he's so good? This is the chess game that why do you think Brady and Belichick, how important that relationship was? Can you imagine? Think of this, guys. Why do you think that Brady was so good for so long? I told you this. Those guys used to play war games every week. You know, like that Battleship game back in the day? Guy would have a tablet. Belichick would have a tablet. Brady would have a tablet. And they would sit there and go like this. 2nd and 3 deep. I'm going to check down underneath. And Belichick would go, why? High percentage play. Brady was never looking for the open guy. Brady was looking for the high percentage guy. That's what a great quarterback does. Allen's not doing that. He's looking for the open guy. Dude, it's okay to punt. It's okay to punt. Jalen knows that. He knows that. This comes down to situational offense and defense. Sills Allen might be more reckless than Wentz. He tried to hurt. Terrible. Pooh? Terrible. What is he doing? Dude, I'm serious, man. I would fine him if I were the Bills. I saw that shit again. I see you doing that. I'm going to fine your ass. I'm going to fine you. Can't have that. But to what they're doing now with Jalen, this is fabulous. Brady and Belichick. Belichick used to come down and tell Jimmy Johnson on his boat. We would go back and forth for hours. 1st and 10, plus 35. Personnel 3, 4 deep. Bringing the safety down. And Bill would go, what are you doing? Tight end, block and release. Then check down if he's not there. I'm going to go with me. And they would play these games. It never came down to ability anymore with Brady. Brady had enough. But his smarts and his intellect is what got him around the room. And that's where Hurts is right. To me, they fear Hurts because of his athleticism. They don't fear Jalen yet because of his intellect. Brady, these great quarterbacks, it takes time. And by the way, I'm not saying he's not going to be. I'm saying he is that guy, Hurts. Jalen's a smart dude. 10 times smarter than the guy in Baltimore and the guy in Buffalo. Okay? Hey, Hollywood goes, Jalen can't do war games. He just runs the ball. That's got to change because that's not going to be good enough. You're not going to win a Super Bowl doing that. You're not. Hurts is so smart. He knows this. He's put his body in a position to where now every personnel guy around the league goes like this. This guy's a formidable opponent. Formidable. But what they've done now is have game film on the offense they're running. Don't you see how they closed the gap? They made him one. Hey, Jalen Hurts was a one-read guy in that Patriots game. And some of you are going, well, it's Belichick. Okay, true. Well, the guy you're going against also was there for 18 years in New England. He knows exactly what to do, too. They're going to constantly do this. This is what's going to be a theme. And here's the problem that you have. As Jalen's figuring this out, don't get 3 and outs on offense. Remember what I said? Don't get 3 and outs with that offense and let that defense have to play because it won't look good. And what happened? Your defense allowed, you had a 16-point lead and you almost blew it. If you had a 16-point lead last year in the regular season, were you blowing any game? And for those who go like this, well, I never thought they were going to lose. The Patriots had the ball with 2 minutes left and they were driving. And if he gets that foot down, I mean, I don't know. They have like 28 seconds left and they're on to 18. At least they would have had throws to the end zone. And the way you were covering, I don't know. That's how that looked. Some will go like this. Well, it's first game. You know what? Listen, I'm not going to dismiss that either. I agree with you. I'm not going to dismiss that. But I think that's more personnel issues than just rust. Hey, that's a good question. Did you guys think that was rust or personnel? If you go both, then you're not really you're believing what your eyes saw. Right? I think it's a personnel issue. Tone and I said it was going to be a personnel issue. Offense, that's fair right there. That's a good take by Tone. Offense looked rusty. Defense felt like personnel. Yes. 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 Thank you, Maniac. Yes. I think Tone's got it. Yeah. Yeah. Plus the coverages that Belichick was throwing at him. Sure. Yes. Absolutely. At 4:30 Eastern time, my top 10 quarterbacks, I think you're going to be surprised. I really do. I think you're going to be surprised. My top 10 quarterbacks. Hey, do not forget, guys, 40th anniversary of Hooters is this year, and we are so proud to be involved with them. Make no mistake about it, man. We're looking forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks at King of Prussia. Gary McNally's also going to join us tomorrow, the president of all 7 other Hooters tomorrow, along with Angelo Cataldi. So we got a big show tomorrow. Working on Anthony potentially too as well. So we're so packed this week, and we're looking forward to the home game against the Minnesota Vikings. Do me a favor too. Go into any one of the 7 locations. You can log on to northeasthooters.com to find that location nearest you. King of Prussia is where we're going to be doing a lot of our events. Hey, look, if you want to just get the food and take it home, HootersToGo.com. Try some of the great specials. Buy 10 wings, get 10 boneless free. Wing Wednesdays, 1983. That's the year the place was founded. Kids eat free on Saturdays. Some of the absolutely great specials that they have, especially during happy hour. Go to northeasthooters.com. Please do me a favor. Every time you go into any one of the locations, you tell them Big Sil sent you.